Hi friend, in this video we are going to talk about developers, testers or anyone who has some experience in any field or domain but doesn't have relevant experience of a business analyst, which means you have never worked as a business analyst and you want to become one. But before we go ahead with that, I'll say if you have not seen my last video, I have left the link in description. Please watch it. It is for freshers who wants to become business analyst, but you'll find a lot of useful information there. And do not forget to subscribe. So before we go ahead with the ones who have experience, let's go through these points which I have mentioned earlier. So learn about business analysis, target company, requirement gathering, which is essentially your skill mapping here, personal projects, resume, and LinkedIn. So let me summarize it and write it on a new note. So, what was the first point? Learn business analysis. There is no escaping it. You have to be very thorough with business analysis, Scrum, Jira. I mean, you can use any other tool you like, but I recommend Jira because it is one of the most popular tool, and chances are the company at which you are going to interview is probably using Jira. Target company, come up with a list of, I'll say 5 to 15, or if you want 10 to 20 target companies. And as I have mentioned in the last video, unless you have a list of target companies, your efforts will be scattered and lack focus. So, if you know the list of the company, you can target those companies, target those domains, and more importantly, target those specific areas of a skill set which you need to acquire to improve your odds there. Do a skill mapping, so that information directly derivative of this. Now coming to projects. So when you have experience, so for freshers, I told them to use something like Jira or Asana or whatever tool they want, focus on certain target companies and domains and work on certain project. But if you are already working somewhere, it could be tech field, as a developer or tester, any other role, or it could be any other sector. You could be working in insurance sales or banking sales or operations, and you are looking to move into technology as BA. It becomes quite easier for you because you are already working somewhere, so you know how technology is implemented there. You might even have access to the IT team there. So you can reach out to your BAs, see what kind of projects they are doing, how they are doing, and offer them help. Nobody will deny if they get extra helping hands, isn't it? So let's say the BA or the product owner in your IT team is working on some feature. They will be interacting with you or some other team in your company from operations, sales, marketing, and they will need someone to provide them some extra information. They will need someone to write those epics, features, or user stories. Offer them help. Tell them that you can write user stories, they can review it, and if they are okay, then they can move forward with those. First point of contact is existing BAs, team, or projects. You may have direct access to them. So, for example, let's say you are part of operation and you are currently working with your product owners, business analyst for some project, or you are a developer or tester. In this case, you will have 100% access to your BA because you are already part of the IT team. Just reach out to them, offer help, and while you work out these things, just start using the tool which your company is using to manage projects. So it could be Jira or any other tool. Just log in there, see what kind of requirements are being written there. What is the structure? So in every company, they will follow certain practices. It could be some methodology like Scrum, or just a generic approach towards writing the requirements. What kind of information you capture as part of Epic, as part of user story. Start learning that. And then use your free account which you have created outside your company. So let's say your company is using Asana or Jira, but then you can go out, use your personal ID, create an account on these platforms, and try to write those user stories in your own words, the way you will write them. So let's say you are working on some digital transformation project. Now you might be working as a developer or tester or from operations, call center, marketing, whatever. You have some connect to it. If you don't have direct connect, try to find out how you can reach out to your IT partners. I cannot think of any company where you don't have an IT partner, IT team who is working on these projects. Let's say you don't have any BA in your company. Then you might have a vendor. Reach out to the BA there. See how they do requirement gathering. See how they capture that information, any gap analysis they do, or how they come up with something like workflow diagrams or wireframe. And that's why I said always start with learning business analysis, because when you are learning it, you will know all these terms, what all things a BA will do, and then tailor your learning or practice towards that. So if you know that in your company they are using a lot of workflows or wireframes, you can start with that. Just try to write a requirement, a user story, the way it is written in your company. You don't need to worry about the world. Trust me, whatever practice your company is following, big, small, whatever, that practice is not shared by every company out there. You will have some variation, but that is beyond your control and you don't have to worry about that. A lot of companies I have seen that Scrum Masters will write requirements, which is not the right practice, but they still do. So if you are in such company, you can reach out to the Scrum Master and just see. And the best thing is, a lot of time, you don't need to bother them so much. Just make sure that you maintain distance, give them time and space. But if you have access, or if you can get access to these tools, you can literally see what kind of requirements are being used in the market. So if you are a developer, you are already working on the requirements, you are already going through them. If you are a tester, you are already having access, you are already going through those user stories to write your test cases. For developers and testers, it becomes really easy. You cannot complain that you don't have access. But if you are somebody from operations, then chances are you won't have access to direct access, at least, to these tools or user stories or information. In that case, you might have to reach out to your management, or if there is an IT team on your floor in your building, reach out to them and try to get as much as information you can get, and then use that to work on your own projects and work on your company's project. So this is your number one priority. If you can write user stories, even if it is, let's say, 10 user stories for your company, that is real exposure. In fact, something which you can mention in your CV, that though you are a developer, but for last 1 year, you have been working as a BA also. You have been writing user stories. You know what all information goes into user story. Now, even as a developer or tester, you will know that. But when you write it yourself, you are in the driving seat. You have that view which a product owner or a business analyst will have. And when you do it for some time, 1 project, 5 projects, that will give you way better experience and exposure. And then, of course, put that information in your CV. And doesn't matter what you are doing, you have to be active on LinkedIn. So for experienced professionals, I will say things are a lot easier. Focus on your existing company, focus on the existing project. And worst case scenario, if you don't know anything, let's say you are from insurance sales and you have very limited experience or exposure towards technology. Now try to imagine what kind of pain points are there and how technology can bridge that. So let's say you manually scan some documents, then email them or visit some branch to submit those documents. Try to think of how you can transform that particular process into a complete end-to-end digital solution. And then start Googling step by step. So let's say you don't know where to start. You can simply say, send document electronically, something like that. If you Google it, you'll find enough information. And then the next step, and so on. And take all that information, go to your course. I'm assuming any course you pick, whether it's mine or any other course, they will teach you how to write BRDs or epics or user stories, how to use tools like Jira to set up your own project, and then create your own project and put them in your CV as a side projects. But if you are a developer and tester, you don't have any excuse. You just need to reach out to your company. In fact, you already have access to all the tools and information you need. It's just that you have to practice doing business analysis by yourself. If you are a developer, you already have access to user stories. That's how you develop. If you are a tester, you already have access to user stories. That's how you write test cases. So you cannot complain. Reach out to your BAs, ask them if they need any help. You can play the junior BA there. Even if you have 10 years of work experience, don't worry. Start writing those user stories. Work as a junior BA for 6 months, 12 months in your company, in your team. work with your product owners, learn how these requirements are being written. And then, because let me tell you, everybody is overloaded. So chances are your product owner or BA, they are already overloaded with work. If they can get someone who can provide some helping hands and it can reduce their 10-20% of workload, I'm pretty certain they will be open to it, especially in technology companies and teams. Okay. So if you are a developer or a tester who is looking to become a business analyst, and if you're not still sure where to start, please leave your comment. I'll try to answer your question. Thank you.